morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Here is another section with Ma'am Tutu. Today, I want to take you through the methods of calculating depreciation. The method of calculating depreciation. For the purpose of grade 12, we are only considering two methods of calculating depreciation, and that is the fixed, or what we call the cost price method. We call it the fixed method or the cost price method. And the second one is what we call the diminishing balance method. The diminishing balance method. For today, we are going to be looking at the fixed, or what we call the cost price method. The fixed or the cost price method. Using this method, we place the rate of depreciation on the historical cost of the asset. What do I mean? The rate of depreciation is placed on the cost price of the asset, meaning that we are going to be having a fixed amount as depreciation over the years. It means that the asset will be depreciating at the same amount over the lifespan. So let us look at an example. 3 computers were bought the same day at 36,000 rand each. Depreciation is 33 1/3% on costs. If the year end is 28th of Feb 2020, calculate the depreciation for the year. So we said that the asset was a computer, and then we have 3 computers, but each of the computer is 36,000 each. So we need to calculate the depreciation for the 3 computers. So I'm just going to say 36,000 multiplied by 3. 36,000 multiplied by 3, and that gives me 108,000. So we are looking for the depreciation for these 3 computers, which cost 108,000. And then we are using the fixed cost method. We are using the fixed cost price method. So using the fixed cost price method, I am going to place the rate of depreciation. My rate of depreciation is 33 1/3. 33 1/3% is my rate of depreciation. So it's going to be that I'm going to place that on the cost price, meaning I'm going to say 108,000 times 33,3. If you check, 1/3 will give you 0,33. So I'm going to say 33,33 over 100. Once I do this, then I'm ready to get my depreciation. So 108,000 times 33,33%, and that gives me 35,996, and that will be the amount of depreciation for the whole year on this fixed asset. I want us to look at another example. Still considering fixed cost method. An equipment costing I have another example here which says equipment with a cost price of Equipment with a cost price of 75,000 was bought on 30 June 2019. Was bought on 30 June 2019. The depreciation rate is 15% on costs. Calculate the amount of depreciation if the year end is Feb 2020. All right, let's look at this. We were told that we have an equipment that was bought during the financial year. If you check the financial year here, they said the end of the financial year is Feb 2020. It means that this financial year started in 1st March 2019 and then is ending on Feb 2020. So this financial year started 1st of March 2019 and then it is ending 28th February 2020. So during the financial year, we bought an equipment worth 75,000 and then we specifically bought that on the 30th of June. So the depreciation rate is 15% on cost. We are to calculate the amount of depreciation. You will agree with me that this asset do not start the year with us. The year started March 2019, but we bought this asset June 2019. So for March, April, May, even June, this asset was not with us. This asset only joined the business at the end of June, meaning we start using this asset become usable from 1st of July. So meaning that this asset is only going to depreciate for months. It is not going to depreciate for the whole year. So how do we go about this calculation? We're going to, since we are using the cost price method, we're going to say 75,000 times 15% times the number of months. Now this asset, we start using it from July, August, September, October, November, December, January, and February, meaning that we use this asset only for 8 months. So this asset is only going to depreciate for 8 months out of 12 months. I come again. We bought the asset for 75,000. The depreciation rate on cost is 15%, but we only use this asset for 8 months out of 12 months. So the asset will only depreciate for 8 out of 12 months. So let's calculate the value of depreciation. I will say 75,000 times 15 over 100. For the whole year, it's 11,250. Then I multiply that by 8 over 12. And that gives me the depreciation of 7,500. It means that for 8 months, this equipment only depreciates for 7,800. And that is me for today. By the next episode, we are going to be looking at the second method, which is the diminishing balance method. Please feel free to send your question through the YouTube page displayed on your screen, or you can as well send it to the WhatsApp line on your screen. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye for now.